Hey everyone, it's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great evening this evening. It's Friday evening, and I wanted to talk about some new music I have, a new genre that I'm trying to get into. Not that I don't love my 60s, 70s, and 80s rock music, progressive rock music. I want to venture out and learn more about different genres out there. I'm getting more into progressive metal and new metal type of bands, and I wanted to go through some of those with you tonight just to show you what I have in my collection. Some of it I've listened to quite a bit, some of it I'm still discovering because some of it takes more than one or two listens to understand it and get into it and get used to it. Before I get started, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. So the first one I want to talk about a great artist that I've discovered. Actually, the store that I bought this from, the salesman recommended this one, and I wish I knew his name because I want to thank him for sure. Speaking of names, I'm having a hard time pronouncing this guy's last name. I think it's Derek Sherinian, and the album is called Planet X. It's an amazing album. I love it. He's a keyboardist. He's toured with bands like Alice Cooper and Billy Idol, Steve Vai, Joe Bonamassa, and was also a member of Dream Theater, and I'll be talking about those guys in a couple of minutes here. So Planet X is the first studio album after leaving Dream Theater in 1999. It's a mixture of jazz rock, fusion rock, progressive rock. It's a completely instrumental album, and it just sounds wonderful. It's very flowing, very remarkable album. So I highly recommended this one. Again, Derek Sherinian. Next one I have on my list. This one is going to take a couple more listens, but an amazing album just the same. Spiral Architect, and the album is Scepters Universe. This is new metal music, progressive metal music at its peak. It's a debut album by the Norwegian band Spiral Architect. Again, progressive metal. It came out in 1999. It's also very technical in its structure, and that I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but it's just, you need a break after listening to it. It's just go like that, like very, very fast drum pace, guitars, vocals. It's just, you need a break after listening to this album for sure. But it's amazing. I can't get enough of it. It's listeners rated this band is highly underrated, and it's for a debut album. It's amazing. So again, Spiral Architect. Next band I'm really getting into, and I love these guys. I think they're better live. I haven't seen them live. I know a couple of people who have, but I think they're a better band live than they are in the studio. We're talking about Porcupine Tree. This is the album Absentia. Amazing album. Steve Wilson and Company. Steve Wilson has been famous for reproducing some great albums, Chicago 1 and 2, Jethro Tull's Aqualung, amongst so many others. Does an amazing job in doing that. It's their 7th studio album. They're a progressive rock band out of Britain. It came out in 2002 and is considered their best album. So again, Absentia. And I also have from them Deadwing, from the same band, Porcupine Tree. This is their 8th studio album. It came out in 2005. It's based on a screenplay written by Steve Wilson, who's the lead singer and lead guitarist for the band, and it's basically a ghost story. And they had all intentions of making it into a movie. I'm not sure what happened that it didn't come to fruition, but it's a remarkable album. It really is. It's definitely one to. It's more of a concept album, but an amazing album. Got some great guest stars on this one. King Crimson's Adrian Belew plays guitar solos on Dead Wing and Halo, and Opeth's Michael Ackerfeld, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, also does vocal harmonies on Dead Wing, Lazarus, and Arriving Somewhere But Not Here. Also plays second lead solo on Arriving Somewhere But Not Here. So the great Dead Wing by Porcupine Tree. I'm not sure who got me onto this band, but I think I was just watching YouTube one night and discovered it. It's Nightwish, and this is a compilation album called Decades. It's a double-sided album or 2 CD album full of great hits and wonders. They've got many great compilation albums. So this is their 7th compilation album, and they're a Finnish symphonic metal band. This lead singer is very operatic, amazing vocals, but the band itself is very heavy metal style, and the two just gel wonderfully. All these songs have been remastered on this particular version, and this is an archive of songs between 1996 and 2015. Basically all their greatest hits from the band. It's just an amazing symphonic prog metal album, and it's epic, and it's also it's grand, it's big, it's grand for sure. Check out Nightwish. This is Decades. I think this is a great start for anyone that doesn't know Nightwish, but definitely take a listen. Next band, I'm really getting into these guys. This is Dream Theater. This happens to be the album Awake. They're a progressive metal band. This is their 3rd studio album, released in 1994, and it's also referred to the band's finest album by the critics. Love it. I also have Distance Over Time. Distance Over Time is their 14th studio album, released in 2019, and it's the band's most commercially successful album to date. Wonderful album. And Images and Words, their 2nd studio album. It's a great listen, and it takes a couple of times to get used to it because it's different from even their debut album and any albums beyond that. But great album. So that's Dream Theater. And this next band I'm really getting into as well. Deftones. This one is Diamond Eyes. So they're an alternative metal band, a new metal band, NU, not NEW. Definitely a great sounding album. This is the 6th studio album, released in 2010. Most commercially successful album. It hit the top 20 U.S. Billboard's top 200, and it's the band's highest charting album as well. Around the Fur. Around the Fur is their second studio album. It was released in 1997. Album was certified gold in 1999 and platinum in 2011. It's described as both new metal and alternative metal. It's got both loud and soft dynamics, a great flow of tracks, a great straight rhythm, and unique vocals by Chino Marina, the lead singer. Quite a departure from their other albums, but a great album just the same. Then I have White Pony. Sorry for the glare. Okay. Again by the Deftones. White Pony was released in 2000. It was the third album. It's an album influenced by new wave, and it got away from their new metal, progressive metal sound. It was actually influenced by bands such as Depeche Mode and The Cure. It's heavy and melodic, and much different than their other stuff as well. They're quite a versatile band. They don't stick to one form. They change on the flow, so to speak, per album. So another great album in White Pony. And last but not least, these are more of an alternative rock band other than a metal band, but I thought they'd fit right in, as they're considered new metal, rap metal, alternative metal, as well as alternative rock. We're talking about Linkin Park, and Linkin Park to me is amazing. This is such a great band, and it was a huge loss when Chester Bennington passed away, because they could have gone so many places. So this is Hybrid Theory. It was a debut album in 2000. It was certified diamond. It's their best-selling debut album since Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, and the best-selling rock album of the 21st century. Pretty darn good. Now, when they came out with a great debut album like that, it's hard to maintain the flow, but I think they did a good job in that. They came out with Meteora, which was their second studio album in 2003. It was hugely successful. It sold 27 million copies worldwide, 7 times platinum. The single Numb had over 7 billion views on YouTube. That's just amazing. 7 billion, not million, billion. It's the most successful album of Billboard's alternative songs chart. Great album. And finally, Minutes to Midnight. This was their third album in 2017. They took a little bit of a shift in musical direction, more an alternative album than the new metal style of the previous two. It took them 14 months to write this and record it. It's not as good as the other two, but it has its moments. It has some great songs on it. So again, they peaked so much in their first two albums. It was hard to maintain and keep that flow going, but still a great album, just the same. It takes a couple of listens, but I prefer the first two albums myself, but great album just the same. So there's some of my new wave, new metal, alternative metal, new metal, progressive metal, progressive rock albums from some great bands, and I want to continue to go in that direction with some of those genres, and I'll discover other genres as well. I want to get into more 80s pop and 60s and 70s pop. There's thousands of directions I want to go. I just won't go to new country. Sorry. Anyway, that's it. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and take care. Bye bye now.